Greetings. I'm Vicki Tillman from Seven Sisters Homeschool, and I'm going to talk today about how to do the college search with your teens. So, how do you find the right college? And that's a big stressful thing to think about. So let me give you a little bit of my background. I homeschooled my 5 kids through graduation, but also have served almost 20 years as an advisor to our local homeschoolers, upperclassmen, so the juniors and seniors. So I've helped hundreds of teens go through the process of choosing and applying for colleges. So kind of been through this multiple times. Now, let me tell you, there's not one right way to college search. So I'm giving you some basics here, and then you make it your own. And then I will also put links in the handout to some useful resources or how-tos that you can explore if you want to. Okay, alrighty. So the first thing to know is not all teens have to go to college. And these days, with the cost of college education, if a teen really does not want to go to college, it might be good to let them train for a trade or go, do a, year in between high school and going to college and just do a gap year of exploring and missions work or volunteering or working at McDonald's, just the rubber meets the road kind of things. But for teens who know they are ready to go to college, like they have their mind made up and they have a major in mind, or at least a college in mind. We want to really take the college search as seriously as we can without getting fearful. So, our seven sister Kim always says, pray first, last, and always. So I tell you what, the longer you go as a homeschooling parent, or a parent anyway, is the more we find out that prayer just never ends, that we are always praying for our kids and, praying for wisdom on how we best support and guide them. So, okay, got that one out of the way. All right, the next thing I want to do is work with your teens as best you can during high school, and then especially by junior and senior years, if you can, help them to know a basic college major that they are interested in. Now, the caveat is teens often change majors once they're in their freshman, sophomore year in college, and there is nothing wrong with that. But if they at least have a general major in mind, it's going to help a lot. So if they don't have a clue at all, this is a good time during high school to do a career exploration course. And that will help them kind of go through their value system, like what do they want out of life, as far as life rhythms and income and freedom of, work-life balance and things like that, plus how to explore their interests, and how they learn from their interest, whether that's a career or a hobby, things that they like to do for a paycheck or things that they like to do just for fun. And so a good career exploration is very comprehensive and is really important. And even teens who think they know a college major, doing some career exploration, especially if you can work in an apprenticeship or internship kind of experience for them. I remember one of the teens that I worked with years ago, from the time that she was young, she said she wanted to be a large animal vet. She just dreamed about doing that. And so in her junior year of high school, I believe, she got a chance to volunteer with the local large animal vet and just, go out with her on calls and, be as much help as she was allowed to be, but mostly be there and observe. And after a month or so of that, she realized that this was not the career for her. She loved the vet work itself. She hated being on call all the time. She hated that, she'd be sitting down to dinner with supper with the family, and then they had to get up and run out and go to a call. And she realized that really one of her goals is she wanted to be the kind of mom when she got married and had kids that sat down and had dinner with the family. And so a career where you drop and run and don't have a regular schedule was not going to be a good fit. So she went into a completely different field and grew up and has done fine. So, but she didn't know till she had that experience. So thinking about experiencing internships, apprenticeships, all of those things are really important, so that you know where to look college wise. Okay. All right. Then once you kind of have an idea of college majors, then you think about what kind of degree does your teen need in order to complete that major. So some careers, all a teen needs is a certification. So let's say you had a teen that loved medical kinds of things and loved being helpful, but did not want to go to med school, just wanted to kind of get out in the field and be busy working, didn't have really huge income needs. So those kind of teens, to be a certified nursing assistant or a medical assistant, they could get a certification. And so our local community college has certifications for CNAs in particular. And so we have teens who have gone through that actually while they were in high school. So they were ready to work in their field even when they graduated high school. So they didn't need more than that. So there's different certifications in the trades, and to go through trade school instead of college courses, and having general education classes are not useful, and so you do more trade school certification oriented things. And so that's that option. Some careers you only need an Associate of Arts. So why have a 4-year degree and pay for all that and spend all that time if you only need an AA? And so if you look especially at your community colleges that are nearby, or if you've got a small private school nearby, they often have AA programs, and the courses are geared for that interest, and preparation for that career, and not too many of the general education kind of courses. So they kind of get through the process and then are out there in the field working. Then most commonly is the bachelor's degree. So there's bachelor's of arts, bachelor's science, the specialized bachelor's degree like bachelor's of social work, bachelor's of nursing, bachelor's in music, bachelor's of fine arts. So they're specified very often to the interest area, the training area, or more general like the Bachelor of Arts. So Bachelor of Arts, you often have like humanities, general education, world languages. My bachelor's degree is in counseling, and so I have a bachelor's of arts degree. So, and it was preparing me for a master's in counseling. Bachelor of science, you often have in the sciences. So, the physics and chemistry and things like that. Okay. All right. So you kind of need to know college major in order to know what kind of degree that teens are looking for right away. All right. Then one of the most important discussions you want to have with your teens is finances. So, we have in our current world, the financial structure for colleges has kind of gone off the rails, and college education is so much more expensive now for this generation of high school graduates compared to when my oldest son, who's now in his mid 40s, when he was in college. It was very, very different. So these days, college is more expensive, and college loans are structured. So if they have to take out a loan, they are often paying the interest before they hit the principal. And so they end up every year owing more than they did at the beginning of the year. So they really, really want to talk about how the funding of their college needs to look. So you talk about how, like as parents, how much are you willing and able to contribute to the college adventure, are there funds set aside? So sometimes there's trust funds from the grandparents or a 529 plan, that, or there's just some savings or other investments that parents have made with the idea that those would be then taken and used for the high schoolers college. And so that's, what can you bring to the table? And then you talk with them about what their responsibility will be. So like in our family, we had our teens be prepared to be responsible for half their college, and then my husband and I, we carried the other half. And so then their teens had to figure out whether they were going to, how much they could earn, how much they needed in scholarship, how much work study they needed, and things like that, so that what they were bringing to the table. Okay, so kind of have a general like division of financial responsibility. And then you talk about what the expenses are in college. So it's not just the college tuition. They have the housing if they're not commuting from home, their books, activity fees, insurances if there are extra ones that like a sports team adds on, food, clothing, so things like that that they will need. And you kind of make a budget as best you can tell, so they have an idea, because sometimes teens have no idea, like they think it's magic, everything is just part of their tuition, and it's not. All right, and then you talk about the FAFSA system, which is often changing, and so you want to stay up with that. So it's FAFSA. If you haven't explored it, you can go to FAFSA's .gov's website. I will put links there, and they're trying to simplify that process. So hopefully by the time your teens need that, it will be a little bit easier to understand. And then a link to some explanatory articles and podcast episodes from our friends at Homeschooling with Technology have some good explainers kind of things. Okay. Then you talk with your teens about how much debt they're willing to incur, so how much do you want to walk away with, and and understanding that you would be paying that for years the way things are structured right now. And then what kind of scholarships that they might be able to look into. So you want to talk about that. So let me do a little kind of little side note. So things that we ran into a lot, with my own kids and kids I advise. If you have teens who will be able to get financial need grants, so there's colleges very often have financial need grants, which are under their scholarship categories very often. So it's in the financial aid part of the college system. If you have financial needs, so the family income is in whatever structure that college says, they will have financial need grants specifically from the college that the college will offer them. And then students can go outside of what the college offers and apply for, the local, like VFW scholarship for public speaking, or a special scholarship, that some, their church gives, or, some other organization that they are part of. If they have financial need, the scholarship money they get from outside the college will be deducted from their financial need grants very often. So they work really hard to get all these scholarships, and then they kind of lose that from what they're offered from the college. So in the end, it's the same amount of scholarship or grants total. It's just a lot of work to earn outside scholarships disappears because the financial need grant is reduced by what they're bringing in scholarship wise. That's not always true, though, at all if you are not a financial need family. So if you got a family with a higher income, the scholarships aren't affected by financial need grant because the kids aren't going to get one. So, go for it. All right. Often colleges will have tuition discounts based on SATs or ACT scores, and you can find out about that when you dig around on college websites. So, and then if that's, if you got the kind of a teen that's going to get a high SAT, ACT score, it's a plus if you find a college that is giving a scholarship or tuition discount for that. Some states have free tuition for an AA degree, and it will usually be at a community college or a state college if they go into their special AA program. So they apply for the college, for the state college in that program. So you have to look for their AA programs. And so that, 2 years of college free is a plus for a lot of families. And then also when you think ahead of time, that teens who have been doing dual enrollment courses and knocking off some of their college credits that they're going to need, that reduces their overall finances when they get to college. As long as they are taking dual enrollment courses that will be accepted by the college of their choice, and are working for them. So it works for their major, is accepted by the college. And so you look into those kind of things by exploring college websites. Okay. All right, now let's talk about the kind of college that your high schooler wants. Okay, so yeah, sit down and you think about this with them. Are they wanting a liberal arts college? So they're getting a broad, general education experience. So all or most of the college degrees, they will have English language arts, some breadth courses like humanities and the arts, plenty of physical credits, or at least some. So it's more like, what they're bringing from high school. In high school, they have a bunch of different kinds of credits that they need. Liberal arts credits, colleges have a broad base. So they're trying to develop citizens who are well educated, can think well, can function in different ways, and so they have a lot of breadth. Okay, a lot of state colleges are that way. All right, or do you want to go to a college that includes STEM degrees? So our state colleges often have STEM tracks, so that are only training in that field, very few breadth classes. So they are like a lot of times nursing programs or engineering programs will really concentrate on the sciences, working hard on the specific courses that make them experts in that specific field. So very few breadth courses and lots of in-depth in the specific degree. So that you want to talk about that. Are you willing to do a breadth, lots of different kinds of courses, or do you only want your major? Okay, then you ask them what size college. So do they want a large state college, where there's lots of choices and professors and courses to take and activities, and the name brand of the large state college, or a small college and community college where, everybody pretty much knows each other, or a large or small private college. So, with my 5 kids, we had a variety of all of those above. Of according to the personality and their goals. What kind of college are they hoping for? So, do they want a Christian college? Do they want a private school? They want a secular, so they have different experiences. Um, how far from home do they want to be? So they want to stay local and commute. So my younger two kids just wanted to commute. They didn't want to spend any money on boarding and all that, room and board kind of stuff. They were saving money. And besides, they had a lot of their friends were also commuting and staying home. So a lot of their support system was staying in the area. So that's what they wanted. Do they want to be local but live on campus? Or like my oldest three, wanted to just go do college, do the whole college thing. And so they lived away at college and on campus and did the whole experience. So then you talk about the kind of college fit, as in what the competition they're going to experience at college is. So here's let me explain this. All right. So if I'll give you an example from my youth. When I was a kid in college, I wanted to be a biologist. And so I went through the community college first because that was affordable to me. And when I transferred to the University of Florida in those days, I was in courses with biology and pre-med were together in those days. This is a long time ago. So my competitors in the course, my fellow students were pre-med students. These folks were driven, and they made my IQ look a little challenged. So I automatically was struggling in the higher level courses. I really, really had to work hard to pass a class because my competition was different. And in our colleges in those days, and some colleges still today, will curve the grades. And so you are competing for your grade, not only by what you know, but who's in class with you. All right, so where I'm going with this is, if you have a teen who could get into Harvard, but they would be the lowest SAT scores compared to the other Harvard kids. Will go into the class in their freshman class at the bottom of the class. And so can you imagine working hard through high school and then, being successful and feeling good about education, and then you go in and you're struggling every day? Is that what they want? Some kids just find that a challenge and that's going to be awesome. And some is like, oh my gosh, I just want to be here and learn. And so what I suggest that families do is, when you're starting the college search, is you look at your teen's SAT or ACT scores. Go to colleges that may be of interest to their websites and look at the description of their incoming freshman class for this year. So it kind of gives you a ballpark figure. What were their ACT and SAT scores? And you want a college where those scores are similar to your teens. And then that way they're in a competitive, emotionally it feels better. But if they're a college that curves grades, definitely in a more competitive setting. So I will put in the handout a link for the common data set, which will give you information on the colleges and like their entrance scores. It's also some information like financial aid packages that they will often offer, class sizes, cost of tuition, merit grants, and things like that. All right. Then next you want to do an internet search for colleges. So, the joys of the internet. We can look at all kinds of colleges. So you can look, start with Google and just search a college major, or parameters, how far away. So having gone through these other discussions, I'm looking for this kind of college. You can look at the U.S. Department of Education's college scorecard and see what their success rates are. College Board's Big Future website. So again, in your handout, I'll have links to these things. Peterson's and U.S. News and World Report traditionally have had some college scores. Also, the website Best Colleges. And you can do some research there and find out, what others' experiences are, and, compare colleges. And that way you find some that really look attractive and some you're going to eliminate. It may have sounded good when you first heard about it, but doing some research is like, no, I don't think so. All right. Then you go to those college of interest websites and you do some virtual tours and, take a look around the campus, read about the professors, read about the extracurriculars, look, at the courses that are available for a college major. Because each college will have different things they specialize in. And so, read up on the major and the courses that are available. And then, if at all possible, do college tours. Even if teens are thinking about just staying local and going to community college, go do an open house day, get a hands-on experience there. College tours are irreplaceable because sometimes teens will think they're really interested in a college and they walk on the campus and go like, oh my goodness, no. Or they walk on a campus and say, oh, this is the home I've been looking for. All right. So lastly, what you do is you breathe and be calm. Like no matter what they choose, in the end, they'll get through it. They will get through it. And if they went to a college for a year and hated it, they can always change. Like nobody's signing their life away in their college choice. But it sure is nice if you can hit one the first time and make it the right one. It just takes a lot of stress out of the picture. All right, so look in the handout for links, and God bless you all. Feel free to ask questions at Seven Sisters Homeschool's Facebook page, or join the Facebook group. It's not that hard to homeschool high school, or College Discussions for Homeschoolers is another good Facebook group where you can go in and ask questions of other homeschooling parents. Okay. All right. Well, God bless you all in your adventures.